Hello, everyone. Thank you for sharing this time in this space with me. I am Nikki S. Salas. I am an author, traveler, holistic nurse, holistic teacher, and I'm just excited, first of all, about this guest. And I'm going to get into the intro of her. But we met at a book event in New Jersey a few years ago, and her smile is not only infectious, her energy. I am just like overwhelmed, happy that she is sharing her wellness journey with us today. So we have with us Dr. Cynthia Harris-Frederick. She is a retired educator and principal residing in New York, and she is not only an avid swimmer now, she's a yogi from her continuous practice of yoga. She is a cyclist. She has been recently interviewed, had a spotlight on her from Peloton. So again, without further ado, welcome Dr. Cynthia Harris Frederick sharing her wellness journey. Yay!
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I
Thank
am
you.
honored. I am truly honored to be here, truly, because I know how powerful you are in
Thank you.
terms of your writing ability and just all the things you do. So
Thank you.
I for you to ask me to do this is big. This is
Hey,
big.
look,
So thank
and
you for that.
that's a good thing about sharing on Facebook, that I believe a lot of us do not understand. You do not know the story that you sharing. Like I would see you, when I would see you in the timeline sharing your Fitbit steps, sharing that you
Yeah.
was going swimming. I'm like, look at Eliza, they're out there, she swimming, and she talking about she doing yoga. I was like, I think I'm gonna go do my yoga class today. I mean, you really
Oh, thank
were
you.
inspiring me. You don't even know that
Nice.
you've been
Thank you.
inspiring me, and as well as other people. And just because we're,
Appreciate
someone
that.
that's not saying that does not does not mean that we are impacting somebody's life, especially if we are
Mm,
helping them, go further on their journey.
yes.
So,
Well, I thank
Eliza,
you.
oh no, no problem. I want
Yeah.
you to share what like catapulted you to start doing, again, the yoga, the swimming, just all of it.
Okay. Um, okay, I just want to silence something. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's
If,
okay.
okay. So one of the things that I want to say, I always liked weight training and
Mm-hmm.
swimming. I've been swimming since I was 10 years old. I always had a big frame. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't always what they call obese at
Mm-hmm.
one point, but
Mm-hmm.
there have been some stressors in my life
Okay.
that generated that
Mm-hmm.
um, cortisol buildup and all those things. I was always, as a young person, desiring to be a vegetarian. I don't know
Mm.
why. That was a
Mm.
goal in life when I was young. It's not like I seen that in my house. My mother
Uh-huh.
cooked pig feet with lima beans.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that, um, but it more or less that was an aspiration, not even knowing what that could be.
Mm. Mm.
Uh, but what really inspired this part of my journey at this point of my life, I'm 50 plus.
Okay.
I was a principal and I was called in by, I was actually, someone asked me to take the place of a principal who was really sick
Oh,
and
okay.
to take over a school. So I did that and I did some wonderful things in the school. I created a STEM program. I did all of
Mm-hmm.
these wonderful things. And then after a period of time, I wasn't granted tenure,
Mm.
nor was I being considered to be the permanent principal.
Mm-hmm.
And that really hit me hard. And that
Okay.
was like in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really a challenge because I was told because of the politics
Mm-hmm.
that they were picking someone else for the position. And I really put my all into it. I brought like 400 something $1,000 in terms of
Oh, wow.
technology and grant money. I trained teachers. I had a top chess team that I just created with some teachers.
Oh.
I did some beautiful things there, and the people who know me know that actually happened. So I was a victim of, and I grew the enrollment in a school or a system where charter schools were taking over and they were taking the best students, so to speak. So when that happened, it was devastating because I realized that all systems aren't set up for our children, and they don't care what you're doing that is really a good thing for the school and for the faculty overall. If it doesn't fit into their big scheme or plan, the neighborhoods were gentrifying, a lot was going on. So I think that was the catalyst. So that was kind of hard to understand, that people did not really, who were in the business, did not care as much about the children as they professed to be. I couldn't wrap my mind around it. But needless to say, I believe in God. So I do understand when those things come and they're big, that you know, when you're really being presented with something that's going to challenge your soul, that you got to be still on the inside. And I felt really good. And I had a strong church family. So in 2016, I got a Fitbit. And it's funny because before that, I heard it, I knew about it, but I didn't know what it could do. So this one little technology that I had, and this is not the original one that I had, but it measured my steps. So I said, oh, 10,000 steps a day. I could do 10,000.
Was this when you were still in the school?
At 4:30.
Was this when you were still in the school? Okay.
Okay, so I was still in the school like that last semester before they discontinued me.
Okay.
What happened, I got the Fitbit, and I had maybe 2 other people that would join me. Like, and one lived in Florida, and I think the other one lived in Texas. One was my former student. She's grown now with her family. And another one was a former coworker. So I was like, okay, come on, let's get our steps in, let's do it, just post it, we'll keep moving. So from February 2016, that's when I started to really monitor my steps and how I was moving. But like I said, before that, I would go to the gym at 4:30 in the morning, and I'd work out for an hour before I would do a 2-hour commute to work. Because I actually live in New Jersey, and I was working in Brooklyn, New York. So it was like 2 hours.
Oh my God.
So it was very stressful. 4 hours. So 4 hours, you know, all together. And then I started really paying attention to the numbers because I am a data person. I believe data matters. Like, we should know numbers for how it affects our lives in different situations. And it should be a part of how we operate, because if you don't know, you can't manage what you don't know.
That's true.
I never had high blood, I never had high blood pressure. I didn't have diabetes. Although my doctor, she wasn't proud of my A1C. She felt that it could be much lower. She didn't want me to even be pre-diabetic. All right. So along with that, my mother-in-law was sick. And so we had to deal with her. And I was also in the midst of earning my doctorate degree. So I had all these wheels turning. I was a new principal. My mother-in-law was ill, and she lived in the Bronx. So we had to commute from Jersey. We doing 2 states and 3 boroughs and all kinds of stuff to take care of her. And then my doctorate degree, which was a 27-month program. So I was in a cohort, and you couldn't fall behind, and you had a residency. You know, they expected you to finish. Okay. So with that, those stressors caused a lot of weight gain. I gained like 30 pounds in 2 months, despite the fact that I was working out in the morning.
You said 2 months?
I gained 30 pounds.
Oh, okay.
In 2 months.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people do not understand how powerful stress is, you know, because our emotions, you know, they vibrate through our body, you know, they're inside our body. So, you know, they talk about stress being a silent killer. That's because we cannot, we're not like really seeing it as its own thing. and we're not paying enough attention to it, whether it's causing us to increase, in weight gain, high blood pressure, all these different things is from this, from stress, period. And it could be even that one incident where you are stuck on the highway for a while, and that stress
Yes.
can have you unbalanced for days, just as
Days.
well as doing things which we're going to get into about what the different exercise, bringing you down and stabilizing your blood sugar, your pulse, your blood pressure for a long time too. But yeah, I want you to finish telling us.
And like I always would pack my lunch because I do love to cook. So, and I'm mindful of what I'm cooking. I mean, I could have done, and I've always been a water drinker.
Okay.
So I keep my water. I'm not always at the level I'd like to be every day, but I make a conscious effort.
Good.
So one of the things that threw me off, I would not eat other than maybe breakfast. I'd have a smoothie, and then I'm running around, I'm visiting classrooms, I'm putting out fires, just all kinds of things that come up in a school leader's day. And then when I would sit down to eat, it would be the end of after dismissal, the kids left the building, or the after school program. And then I would find that I was starving pretty much. And I might eat what I have, but then by the time I get ready to get on the road, they had a KFC drive-through that was en route. And I'm not gonna lie, them hot wings called my name. And it's bad because the sister in the drive-through said, "What you need? I'm gonna throw something extra in there." So I don't even have to tell you, with the salt and all of that stuff, I was doing wrong. Okay, at least 2-3 days out of the week. I might have had my salad and I might have been good in the morning, but it went left by the time I got on that highway. So and I own that. I own it. I own it. So I was working on my steps and I focused on that. And I really believe that you don't do everything at one time.
No.
Like I always was interested in, and I was much smaller when I got married, maybe 27 years ago. I was much smaller. I think what happens is that even though the knowing and doing is there, you can only tackle one thing at a time. So, and it has to be a mindset. For me, anything that's going to be a change has to be a lifestyle. Yeah, I could do a lot of different things, and I probably could afford to get different things done, and that's not an affront to anyone who takes that path. But for me, I need to put in the work, and
That's good.
putting in the work was dealing with my own mental concerns around, okay, what can I manage and what can I control? And once I started to talk to myself, because that's self-talk, well, Cynthia, what could you do in this situation? Okay, so you could bring your food and make sure you tell your secretary this is lunchtime. Unless there's a major issue, shut it down and take that time.
That's important. Okay? That's important.
That's self-care. The old put the oxygen mask on first.
Yes.
And so I started to learn how to control how I was feeling or eating at a regular time.
Okay.
And that made me mindful of what I was eating and food prep. So I was very good at getting I think HSN had these little bowls, these you could prep, and other places sell it. So I would prep all my food and I just go in the fridge, I could pull it out. So you need to have things that are available. So I would cook on Sunday to try to get it to Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest with you, on Saturday, I would give myself a license to eat.
That's okay.
So I would be looking for it, right? Because I'm out with friends, I'm with family. Okay. So those were the times that I would eat, but I would be mindful of how and when I finish eating. So if I was going to go out with friends later, I make sure that I didn't eat a lot of things earlier in the day, so that I could enjoy a meal and I
that's what I do.
Just kind of right. You can't, and the thing about it, but so I learned to stop eating by 6:30 in cases where I could, because there were a lot of late nights. But I would make sure whatever I'm eating, I would wrap it up. And if I want to drink water, or I'd eat a lighter meal in the as it got later, maybe some salad or some nuts or something. And just to tide me over. And then I just tell myself, you don't need that, and just go to bed, drink some tea or whatever. Just go to bed. Like,
right, go to sleep, girl. Stop thinking about that food.
Right. Because you know what happens too, sleep plays a very important role in losing weight.
Yes.
And I noticed the more rested I was, the more energy I had, and I would lose weight. So, but before my circumstances now, like going through menopause, right? When I had my cycle, I would give myself a license to eat chocolate and salt. As soon as it came, I was like, "Oh, you can eat that. You can eat that." That's like, after that, the water way to go and this and that. But I find that I would just go too far off the edge. I mean, I would put food in the house that was trigger food, because I love some chocolate, thick comfort kind of foods. So, and I had to, like I said, everything happens up here in your mind, how you feel like you can do that. So what I would do though, I would work out harder. So I did buy a treadmill, and I kept my treadmill available. That was the first thing
that you started doing? The walking on the treadmill? Okay.
Yes, I was on the tread. And at that time, I could run and jog on the tread. So I would do that in the morning for like maybe 30 minutes every day before I would go to work. And again, this is like 2016. Then I started reading. I read a lot of books about health because like I said, it has to be a mindset. So I like to have a workout diary.
Okay.
I like to read books about juicing. I don't know if this, how it looks on your camera. Then they had a book about walking, because I said, okay, if my entry point is going to be walking, let me get this book about walking and what speed or incline should I put on my treadmill. So those things help me to digest. Or I would get up and walk around the building in the school, because that 10,000 steps became very important to me. Now, other people did join my team. And
see, look at you over there inspiring people. I told you.
But and listen, they get mad at me because I was like, you didn't log in. Like my nieces, all of them, they're like, okay, Aunt Cindy. I'm like, yes, because listen, you need to keep moving. You're younger than me. You need to be moving around for your family and stuff. So so what happened at that Fitbit really did it. So like I said, I started swimming when I was 10, but I wanted to do more advanced swim, because I said, okay, I'll get a full body workout.
It's easier on the knees.
Yes. So, and then I had a neighbor, we both met at the Y. So all three, we were there, and then our swim teacher had us, and he was good. And he was like, wait a minute, y'all know how to swim. Okay, we're going to kick this up to advanced class. So we started doing drills across the pool, and it felt so good. Like just after a rough day at work, or, just to be in the water. We would do the water aerobics classes. I tell people, do that if you're not a swimmer yet. Just get into aerobics class. Just get acclimated and get accustomed. And I also belong to Black Girls Swim on Facebook. So Facebook has a group, and there's some dynamic women out here swimming that people think we don't swim. We swim. So so we go moving further into 2018. I really started swimming with the swim masters at the club near my house. And those people are very aggressive swimmers. They do outdoor swim triathlons. I don't do open water swim. They said there's a lot of issues with sharks, and I'm not trying to be a meal for the shark. So I haven't been that adventurous, but I did do a women's triathlon in Philadelphia in 2018. And I won. I came in first place. Yes. Our group, we called ourselves the Women of Wakanda. And on the Wakanda women, I hope that's not a copyright infringement. But, listen, I was just trying to pay homage to the Wakanda movement. Um, so my cycle instructor, because I started cycling in 2017, and I want to say this before I go through all of that. You have to find what gets you up. Some people
Yes.
don't even know which exercises inspire them.
Mm-hmm.
I was working out, and I still work out with my trainer. He introduced me to boxing, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they had the CKOs and the kickboxing places. The only thing I couldn't do, they would jog around in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted you to jog, and my knee is not built for that anymore.
Not mine
So,
ain't either.
and then the price didn't, the price point wasn't really good for me.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened when I had my trainer, when I got my trainer, he started introducing me to boxing. I was like, oh, I kind of like this. So then I was sweating so much, I done lost so much back fat from
Oh,
from
good.
that. So I'm putting
Uh-huh.
it out there, since boxing will get your back right. If you're worried about some back, because they always ask that question, how you get rid of, start boxing. That will do it. Upper body work does it, because it works the whole body.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so I started cycling with a cycle club, and that was good for my knee. And the thing I liked about it, because I love music, and they
Mm-hmm.
would have a DJ ride, and they would make it dark in there like you were in a club.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you coming out, you sweating your hair, sweat your hair out, everything. So I said I could do this. And then when COVID came, we stopped going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, okay, so what do we do now? And I stopped swimming too. But by that time, I had built a routine, so it didn't throw me off.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, I didn't gain weight. I lost weight,
Good.
like, because I started to say, okay, so what can I do now? How can I set myself up so I could continue to lose weight? And so one of the things that I started to do was the Peloton app,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes what people don't understand is that Peloton is not just a bike or a treadmill. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, you don't need those things to do the workouts.
Mm-hmm.
So with the app, it was more cost effective. It was like $12.99 a month, and I think they have discounts for first responders and educators. So I started getting into yoga,
Mm-hmm.
because I said, well, what can I do with this app? And I'll tell you, I tried yoga a lot of times before.
Mm-hmm.
I went to different places near me, and it didn't speak to my spirit,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, I felt like the I didn't connect. I was looking for a sister like myself, or somebody. And even with spinning, even though I had a sister at first introduce me to it, the seat was too hard. I was like, how am I gonna do this? I can't, all of these things, my beginning stages.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so just going back to the yoga, I started just saying, okay, just take the class, learn how to stretch, get past that, get into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did find an instructor on Peloton. It was a male. Um, and he was good. He taught calm. I could relax, take
Mm-hmm.
away some of that stress, because I had retired, but I hadn't had a chance to travel or
Mm-hmm.
spend time with family. Everything happened so quick. I couldn't even have a retirement party. They had to cancel that. So a lot of things happened that brought, and then like I lost coworkers that I can't even tell you how many people who
Uh-huh.
were like new retirees who lost their life. Even the DJ that was supposed to DJ,
Oh, wow.
um, yeah, two DJs actually who were friends, both lost their life. I even still have the last conversation we
Was it
had
due to
about,
COVID?
yes. Well, one they
Mm.
didn't say. They didn't
Okay.
confirm it because it's a very early stage, but the
Uh-huh.
description they gave made sense. The second
Mhm.
one was clearly it was clearly COVID.
Well, I want to
Um,
add something with that, because and and I believe this is a conversation we need to have within the Black community. Though
right.
COVID, I believe, is real. I believe that this is not only making people sick to the point where unfortunately they have to go into the hospital, be ventilated, which I don't wish on nobody. And some, or not some, many, many. let me correct that, many have died from this. I do believe that there has been an existing problem within the Black community with our health. And again, that's why, I wanted you to share your story, because this is what many of us in the Black community do not understand with COVID, is that seemingly, and not to say it, there's some seemingly healthy people that, COVID has, brought devastation, on their health, but many of us in the Black community are and have been living with comorbidities, more than 2 chronic illnesses and diseases, whether it be high blood pressure, diabetes, and COVID came, but yet we were not addressing, and I believe still not addressing, these issues that were there for decades. There are, this is before COVID, there was a study done by the U.S. Department of Human Services. It was over 80% of African American women that were not considered overweight, but obese. And like you said, it was the same thing with me. Growing up, I was a chubby girl, but it's sad now that we are starting to see more children obese, not chubby or overweight no more. And I know a lot of it has to do with the food, and a lot of people are not aware what is in our food. And over there, they have food insecurity where they just getting what they can get, and I get that. But that's why this is my I am promoting holistic health, especially with people of color, because I want us to do better. I want us to be educated, on, like you sharing, how to just start from something. Get you an app, it's so easy now. Get on YouTube or something. That's what I did. I was doing YouTube videos in the living room when it started getting nice outside, start walking, start where you at, few steps. And I love, things like the Fitbit. I have a Samsung watch. It keeps up with my steps, and it motivates me. Or I challenge myself. I say, okay, I did 10,000 steps for the last couple of weeks. Let me try to get 1,100. Let me take the steps. That would give, the stairs when I'm in different places. That's gonna give me, more. And it's that challenging of self to be better. And I love that you were filling your mind up with, like you said, how walking books, juicing books, because that's exactly where it starts. Wherever we feed here, we're gonna feed to the body, and again, since I am about holistic living, my spirit, mind, body, I try not to say mind, body, spirit, because spirit should always be first. If we allow the spirit to flow and talk to us, because the spirit came to fulfill this purpose, but when this is blocked, then the spirit can't do what it needs to do. And I just want to share something else that you said you made, and I'm glad that you was even inspiring your younger, your nieces, and they're younger than you. So the way how we live, it's like the sunrise and the sunset. So in the sunrise, when we going up, we have more energy. So our younger people tend to have more energy. They exert more energy. So a lot of them think that I don't got to do nothing. I don't got to exercise or whatever. But if you're not doing it now, it's going to be harder when you get to that middle age, and then you wondering, well, what happened? It's not only about the weight, it's about how you feeling. Because health, and I tell people this all the time, health is not only what you look like, it's how you feel. Are you able to, especially in your spirit, your mind, and your body? Because if you ain't feeling right here, you definitely ain't gonna feel good here. You're not gonna make good decisions to eat. And so with you, again, keep feeding your mind, putting it in your mind every day. Let me read this book about health, and then that input produces output. And here it is, the results of you right here today, where let me tell you all, let me tell you what Dr. Frederick told me today. She said I had to go do my workout, which is over 2 hours, okay? Over 2 hours. She said, I got to go do my workout. I say, hey, go do your workout so you go get right, so you feel right, and you come share your story with everybody else.
Thank you.
And I'm just so happy that you just doing this. Ooh.
But you know what? I don't come from an ivory tower situation, because people think when they see people work out, they've been doing and living healthy all their life. I came up to where I was going out to clubs, I was drinking and carrying. I used to smoke. I stopped smoking in 1998.
Oh,
Listen,
wow.
because I realized I wanted to. No, was it 98? Yes, it was January 2nd, 1998. Because that was my New Year's resolution.
Oh, okay.
And anybody tell you I'd be the first person trying to get a loose cigarette because the packs were costing too much money. Anybody knew me, they know. They know. The real people that know me, they knew I was a smoker through college and all of that. But I didn't want that to be my story. And my husband never smoked. I didn't want him to have secondhand smoke. Plus, my mother died of cancer, lung cancer.
Oh, sorry.
And yeah, and I think that's where I got that smoking from, being in a household where parents smoked. Okay. And that weighs on children too. It could be for the good or for the bad, right?
Yes.
But I want to say this, depression is all part of that. If you're not eating the right food, you're doing a lot of sugar, if you're not exercising. And I find that a lot of women I know who run, I know what that's about. They're trying to avoid depression because all those endorphins and things that help them feel good about themselves is helping to maintain them.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's important, you can join groups that have goals, because even if you're not motivated, and this is, I want to say this because I want people to hear this.
Okay.
If you can't get your cousin, your brother, or somebody else around you to walk with you, you walk by yourself. Just be safe.
Yes.
Be safe. Do it at a safe time. Be safe.
Yes.
And for you will find your tribe.
Yes.
Okay? Because many a time I sit up there and tell people, even with my yoga folks, virtually, come on, y'all. I'm taking this class. Come on. They're on the Peloton app, but they're not. I could look at their metrics. I'm like, she haven't been doing this since whenever. I'm not gonna blow her up and say anything to her. I said, well, how's your workout coming on? Oh, well, I said, well, I missed you. I wanted you to be with me, but I understand that might not be her thing. But I say that to say, don't wait for that person to say they're going to join you on your journey. You take your journey. Like they said, my mother always said, God don't bring you that far to drop you.
Yes.
You will meet your tribe. Your tribe. So with that said, I wanted to do 5Ks. Like my husband would walk with me and so forth. But I joined Black Girls Run. Now I knew I wasn't a runner, but I knew that I needed to do a 5K and I needed to have a goal. So while I'm on this treadmill, that I could walk myself to the point where I could walk a 5K. And my Fitbit was telling me what to do. And then I was reading my books on how to train for a 5K. And then I went to Philadelphia. This is the first time before even the swimming. I walked and met some sisters out there from across the country, and they were powerful. And that experience was just so wonderful for me. But that whole conference, they had sisters doing battle ropes. They had a yoga class. There's a sister called Soul Yogi. I got her stuff right up here. I got my little vision board up, close by. But she's bad. And I was introduced to different things, and we did a mindfulness workshop, and it was wonderful. It's giving me ideas for doing something like that. And then the next day was the race. And I tell you, I met some dynamic women out there who were doing it. And they started off the same way. Some are very, very thick sisters started off, and then they found their tribe, and they continued to do their journey.
Yes.
Powerful. So I say that don't wait till somebody says even if you got to march in your house or walk around your kitchen or whatever you need to do, whatever it is you need to do.
Yes.
And like I say, please be safe, because you got these crazy folk. but know that you do that, you will find your tribe. It could be some people online that you
Mm-hmm.
see that you could work out with virtually that
Mm-hmm.
will support you. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot. It could be 20
Mm-mm.
minutes. Because
Yep.
people always say, oh, well, I don't have all that time at the gym. I got a family, got to do this, do that. You got 20 minutes for yourself.
Yes. Yes.
You got, whether you got to get up before everybody gets up or you got to
Mm-hmm.
wait until everybody goes to bed, you have 20 minutes and you could do what they call a HIIT workout, which is
Mm-hmm.
a high intensity workout where you get your heart rate up and you start
Mm-hmm.
sweating a lot. You could do that and you're good,
Yeah.
you know,
You
but
know,
I find,
with when you said about making time, 20 minutes.
mhm,
So like with and I know this is something that you love to do as well, because I know that's part of the yoga meditation, right? So I remember
yes,
Deepak Chopra has said, I heard him say before, and it made sense. He said, for the person who says they do not have time for meditation, that means you need more time for meditation.
oh,
And
see,
that's the same thing I feel with exercise. And not only that, if you're not making time to, because that's part of self-love, self-care, right? If you're not making time, like you said, 20 minutes, you have to do, like you was doing planning, planning your meals, everything. Plan your life out, put intentions on your life, and put the 20-minute slots in your day, and start out 20 minutes in a week, okay?
that's it,
But if you're not making time for that, then you're actually leasing your life,
yeah,
your time in your life,
yes,
your longevity. And I'm not
yes,
trying to make more time to, you know, be sick, to
right,
put myself in
right,
a life event, a health life event, where
yes,
the 20 minutes that you spoke of, I could have did starting off once a week, then building myself up where
yes,
it would not have been there. That's
mhm,
another thing, which that misconception that many of us have is, and I was having this conversation with someone recently about aging and getting old, right? So,
right,
like I said, we are like the sunrise and sunset. God gave us everything we need to do.
yes,
Get
he
up in the
did,
morning, it's
yes, he
time to
did,
get up. Like you said, let me go do my
right,
workouts, go do something while it's still high. But also with that sunrise and sunset, like I was saying earlier, like with your niece, she's younger now. And a lot of the young people think, I don't got to do nothing. I don't got to do nothing. When you not trying to make time and put that into rotation in your life, making a routine, it's harder when you become middle
right,
age, because middle age is when our metabolism starts to go down. So we got to
close
do
to,
more.
mhm,
We got to
right,
exercise differently. It's not that, oh, I'm going
mhm,
to, go walk around the block and you lose 5 pounds. Now that I'm middle
right,
aged,
it's
they're
not,
like, yeah, girl, walk around that block around 10 more times. And you have to
right,
decrease your
right,
calories. You have to
right,
make sure that you're getting your rest, because it's preparing you for the sunset. So if we are not
right,
preparing ourselves and doing these things that help us to move forward, it's going to make our aging, make us not age well. So there's a difference
exactly,
between getting old and aging. Aging is part of life if you're able to live on this earth, right? Old is when you're going against the aging process.
right,
So, I've seen people who are living, because that's my platform about, I
mhm,
want people to thrive, not just be here, but find
right,
ways to really live your life. I've seen evidence of people 90 something years old, like you
yes,
said, like you're doing running marathons. And I'm like,
yes,
what? That's
yes,
out there lifting weight. They're still
yes,
doing yoga, doing
yes,
handstands. I'm like,
yes,
possible. We can
yes,
have a great life aging. Yeah,
yes,
we still gonna get the wrinkles, get the gray hair. Me and Eliza
right,
talk about this
right,
earlier, y'all. We
yeah,
still, that's a whole nother situation. We still, trying to
right,
think about, but that's part of the aging. But if we're not doing nothing to
yes,
help us go along, then we're digressing and we will become old. And I'm not trying to be, oh, I
right.
want to age well.
Listen, we already got it working in our favor, right? It don't
Yes,
crack. So
yes.
let's make it where we got it in our favor where people don't understand. I got friends in their 50s. You look at them and say, well, who that child in here? Looking like they 12 years old, face or,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and but they have, some of them have vegan lifestyles too. So, I mean, whatever, nobody's saying that people can't do things. I think what happens is that we have to start.
Yes.
And if you start younger, building muscle, then you won't have to worry about trying to get some muscle when you're older.
Yes.
Because that's one of the things that happens. If we don't use it, it will lose muscle mass. And that's where all of this, the skin thing is not right and what have you, because people lose muscle mass if they're not building the muscle.
Yes.
And no, a woman can lift. You don't have to look like a man. I'm still seeing that on the internet. Somebody said, well, I don't want to lift because I don't want to look masculine. You got a long way to go,
right?
Before you even add a special diet, before you think you're going to look like a weightlifter. Okay? But you want to tone, because even if nothing happens on the scale, people always want to say, oh, the scale. No, if you tone, you will see your body form, and you will appear as though you lost weight. And from what I understand, what my doctors say, muscle weighs more than fat. That's what the studies say.
It does.
I'm not professing to be a medical professional, but this is what they say. So when I see my scale not moving, but I notice my clothes fit better or loose, or that I even notice that there's a shape forming, it's because I'm building more muscle.
Yes.
And you don't even have to do everything at one time. If you're not able to stand, sit.
Yep.
Workouts where you could do. There's this brother, I've forgotten. Hopefully you might interview him. What's his name? Brandon Nicholson.
Okay.
He's like a physical therapist or something. He's in California, and I've been following him and his wife, and I follow him because they do some really. Like sometimes I may not be able to stand. Like I do get injections in my knee, so if I'm doing a lot of activities and then all of a sudden my left knee acts funny, then I may be only able to sit and do yoga, those kind of things that I've done that still keep you motivated. And that's one of the reasons why I did not gain weight during COVID. I was mindful about my eating. So just so I can identify the stage I'm in this journey, I have a nutritionist, and she, because she works with me on meal planning.
Okay.
Right? Because I could never get the Weight Watchers thing down. Some people are good with it. I know I need structure. I need somebody to say, Cynthia, don't put that in your mouth. Or you can't read that label so you know how much added sugar is in that particular thing. Or if you want to have that, just have a little piece and have something tomorrow or the next day. Or get rid of some of those carbs you have, because I would take pictures and show her. Get rid of that. You don't eat that. That kind of thing. And for the past, I think we have a contract for 3 months. She's working with me. So we Zoom and we talk about what I ate, how I'm feeling, what my goals are. Am I on track to my goals? But I've learned so much from her that I'm like, okay, So I use an app now called My Net. I think it's My Net. And it helps me to track how much protein, because I need protein if I'm building a lot of My Net diary.
Okay.
So it helps. Okay, it's not. I think I don't know. It's the light, but it's called my Net diary. And with My Net diary, and you could just probably look it up, I guess. My Net diary, I put my food in there, and I even have a QR barcode scanner, so I can look at what's packaged. I can put my water intake, and it's free. I put my water intake, my protein, my snacks, and then it'll tell me if I'm over the amount of carbs I should have based on my body weight or my goals. If I'm over my protein count, or if I'm over my fat count. So sometimes, like if a person's entry point before exercise, like official exercise, maybe just look at the food that you're eating. I know at one time I started taking out sugary drinks and started just drinking water. You know, I was never really a soda drinker, but if I wanted something that had a sparkle to it, I'd drink seltzer. You know, I put it in something. Um, and then all those iced teas I used to drink, like Turkey Hill, and I thought I was doing some oolong tea. But when I looked at how much sugar was in there, I was like, well, I'm drinking sugar. So and the dietitian was like, I don't want you to drink your calories.
Right.
Don't drink, because if you're drinking
it's
all of
easy
them,
to do the drinking
your
the calories.
Right. So I mean, so I'm in that stage now. Not that I didn't know certain things, but I'm becoming more refined in how I understand what I'm eating and why I'm eating it.
I want to stress what you just said about because I noticed, you know, you said mindfulness a lot, and which is wonderful because that's where it all stems from. And you know, it sounds easy, but it's challenging, because even when I used to hear it all the time, I'm like, yeah, just, you know, mindfulness, you know, but it's a practice. And I'm glad you brought up the app, because that's how, when I started, you know, doing differently, you know, with health, because when I was younger in my 20s, I did the same thing, you know, Liza. When I was in my 20s, I thought, oh, okay, you know, I'm small, I could just eat and drink whatever. And, you know, back in my days, you know, going to the clubs and so forth, you know, you just drink, you know, you're not thinking, because you're not being mindful. So now and back then it was about appearance, even when I would lose weight. But now it's about health, because I'm trying to live not only longer but better. So I think that for many people, to practice mindfulness, if you can't do it by yourself, that's okay. Many people can't start off that way. So the apps are good. It's a lot of apps that's free, like the one that Dr. Frederick just showed with us. And I have an app, I forgot what I use, but it helps me to keep track. But even sometimes when I'm out, because I've been using it for a while, and I just automatically say in my head, it's not even, you know, just about the calories, but it's like, oh, if I drink that, that's like 500 calories. And I do the same thing as you, where I save calories, not only calories, but food choices if I'm going out with friends or family. And then I'm not saying, I don't want people to think that I'm saying that, you know, because I know with calories, that could be a touchy with some people that have, you know, different issues, whether it be bulimia, you know, anorexia. I'm not saying that, you know, you all. I'm just saying to that person that does need a little help, you know, for guidance until you're able to do it for yourself, because it's all from mindfulness. It's all from practicing, you know, consciousness. So when you know, inebriated, right? For the most part, you're not conscious. So you just keep drinking. And then I know for myself, you know, if there is a high intake of alcohol, that makes me hungry. So then I'm like, yeah, let me go eat food. And within that 2 hours, I didn't, you know, it's like 3,000 calories of food that I could have got my protein. You know, I could have got the different essential that I needed. But because I wasn't practicing mindfulness, and I just lost consciousness, because many and often we are walking around unconscious with our eyes open. And that's a whole nother story. So it's like, if we are not slowing down, and I believe with you being retired now, that, and I don't want people to wait to, you know, always say to themselves, well, I don't have, like we said earlier, I don't have time. The time is always now. It just is, you all. And that's just the truth of the matter. You know, whether it be myself, there will be times when I said, oh, I'm going to do this later. But if it's important to your health, start today, you know. And the great thing is, Dr. Frederick, that you were able to recognize it, you know, like you said, acknowledge it, and then you did something with it by creating a plan for your life, which created intention on your life. That was you practicing your mindfulness, which is why you're just such a wonderful yogi, because you're able to practice this throughout your life, because that's what it is. It's teaching us balance. Yoga's supposed to help us to be more balanced in life. And when we're always rushing around, always busy here, then we're not making space for what's right in our mind to, allow our body to, hey, Nikki, you need to slow down. Because I would do the same thing when I used to work different clinics, skilled care facilities. I would work a whole shift. I would work a whole shift, Dr. Frederick, 10 hours. And I'm like, did I eat? I'm like, no, I did not eat. So I would do the same thing with you, whatever drive through, whoever was open, and then I'm going to sleep. And because I wasn't making time and planning my life, I just let the wind just kind of take my life, just go off in the air. And it just created havoc. And it got to the point where I had to make a choice and say, what's more important? Are you going to keep spinning your wheels, or, because here it is, I'm taking care of people that's sick, but I'm thinking, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. But they're pretty sure they thought that they were going to be fine too. So when the pandemic came, which I know it was bad for many people, I am not discounting whatever anybody went through, but I know for myself, it enlightened me, because it showed me that I did need to up it, a notch, and take my health journey, my wellness more serious. And I wish to never go backwards after this. Yeah. But I want to ask you, Dr. Frederick, if you don't mind sharing, because I know you said you had a nutritionist. Did you incorporate any type of, whether it be treatments or medications to help you, with the weight loss and, bettering your health?
No, I take my regular. I was always, as a teenager, I was taking, my mother had that one a day. I was always into that. I wanted to be a medical doctor when I was younger. I just always, so my younger sister, she wouldn't take her vitamins. I took my vitamins. So I take vitamin supplements. And my doctor gave me extra vitamin D, like the prescribed vitamin D, because, as Black people, we're not getting enough sunshine, or I mean, in our situation, if you're working all the time, you're in a building, if you're inside working, but my vitamin D levels were low after, and this is the first time after I had my physical in July. I was surprised that she called in a prescription for vitamin D. So I took them. And then, but I was taking vitamin D all along, but I guess not enough, because during COVID, I wasn't going out. Like I wasn't really out. So that was important. But I also get vitamin B12 shots from my doctor. And I do that because I was taking the oral vitamin B12, but I don't know if I felt the difference after a certain age. I was always taking them, and sometimes I have so much energy, I could do like this and that. And then after a while, with the change, I needed something, that would help me. So I would go every month. I go every month to get a vitamin B12. So supplements are important to me, maybe the multiples. And of course, please, find out from your doctor what you're supposed to take. I don't, and that's my disclaimer. Anything up here, it was my doctor, and I expect you to do the same. I am not saying nobody's gonna print and say what she said. No, please. And if you don't have a doctor you could trust, then you need to get one. Okay, because your doctor's not telling you. You're telling your doctor, and they have to respect you as a person who needs care and your concerns. So don't sit there and just go mindfully. I research and I bring things to my doctor. I'm very, I guess I'm OCD when it comes to that, because I feel that that's very important.
It is.
But I do take supplement. I didn't. I drink protein shakes, so maybe that helps that might be that other piece
Okay.
that, may contribute to the levels of protein as opposed to carbs or fats that I take in. And so I don't take any diet pills. I did
Okay.
that. Like
Me
when I
too.
was younger,
Me too.
listen, no little diet pill. I mean, have a caffeine rush like this. I'm like running around like a hamster,
Yeah.
and that's not good for the heart. You know what
No,
I
it's
mean?
not.
If you always, because I remember getting heart palpitations one
Oh,
time. I was taking
wow.
some kind of one of those little Dexatrin. I don't know what those diet pills. Um, but that wasn't a way. That's not. It's not good. It's not. It wasn't good for me.
Mm-mm.
And I feel like this weight loss has to be a lifestyle. It's not a diet. Your
Yes.
diet should be what you're going to live with the rest of your life,
Yes. Yes.
because you know what your body responds to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not that person. Like listen, it took me maybe about 5 years to lose 40 pounds,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I'm good. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know that 40 pounds not coming back. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, it's gone.
Uh-huh.
Some people do things quick and, oh, well, I got even gained even more weight. No, I got a lifestyle change because I know that I'm going to work out at least, if not 6 days, I work out 5 days solid.
Mm-hmm.
They might
Mm-hmm.
not be consecutive, or the type of things I do might be very different. And I don't see workout as a chore. Like I
Mm-hmm.
see people now, oh God. Now I felt like that when I was going to the gym. Like I
Mm-hmm.
felt like, okay, after work, I was like, okay, I would get a gym that was straight going towards my home. So I said, okay,
Uh-huh.
let me just keep going. Let me get to the gym. I always made sure I had a gym bag in my car with
Uh-huh.
everything in there. So I could jump in there, put my clothes on, put my house music on my phone. I had to have all of that because if I didn't have it, the music, I'd be like, I can't really stay here long because of the music. But I made sure it was convenient for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like for a minute, it felt like a chore because if that was an after work workout, that wasn't my ideal time to work out.
Mm-hmm.
4:30 in the morning was. By the time I done spoke to 10 million people all day and the parents and this, the that, I got to order this for the kids, a test and this, all these things coming in. By the time I got to the gym, I was all I had. But I knew if I could get on that treadmill for 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
then I could let some of that energy, that thing go. So
Mm.
I want to say to anyone who's watching, your workout is not a chore. Find the thing you like. You might like to
Yes.
dance, take dance classes,
Yes.
do Zumba. You might like to swim, do water Zumba. You might like karate, do that. Find your thing, and you could
Yes.
try different things and you may not even know you're good at something. And my other motivation was because I wanted to look cute too. So I would buy workout clothes that was cute. Like I had
Uh-huh.
to have my bright orange sneakers, or I would get my leggings and stuff. And I tell you, I got something on there. But I would get things that like all different colors, bright colors, because it would make
Mm-hmm.
me feel energetic.
Good. That's
And
important.
and I wanted to be cute. So I bought all, like if Macy's had a sale, I bought all my little Nike sports bras and shirt. And I got a whole drawer full of stuff. And I'm like, okay, every day I wear something different.
Uh-huh.
And that kind of helped me. I bought my hats. I got a bunch of little caps I was wearing, and even my bathing suit. I got the sporty kind of bathing suit with the crisscross back. So, and I would be cute and take a picture of yourself. Some of my
Yes.
friends work out and they got lipstick on.
Uh-huh.
I used to go to a cycle place and homegirl would put her lips on, like she
Mm-hmm.
was sitting there and cycling, and even the instructor said, "Girl, your face is always beat." And it was, and she would work out, and that was her thing. So whatever makes you feel good, like some people say, well, I like being cute, but I don't want to sweat. No, you could sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Just look, you can look cute sweating.
Yes,
Get
you
you a cute
can.
little towel and do whatever you like. Get your nails done for yoga, because I get my pedicure just so I can look at my toes while I'm doing my yoga. So whatever your thing is, you
Yes.
could bring that lift. And the other part is you get to take a bath, buy you some nice Dr. Teal's
Mm.
bath salt.
Oh,
They got citrus, they got Himalayan salt. You're gonna feel good afterwards.
yes.
You're gonna feel good, and you're gonna feel like you had a spa treatment. And then you can earn your way to the point. This is what I did. One month I said, okay, I'm gonna take a 45-minute ride 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with my app,
Mm-hmm.
bike ride. Okay, I'm gonna do this. And when I do it, I'm gonna earn something. I earned myself a deep tissue massage. I did a
Mm.
pedicure, manicure, and a deep tissue. I fell asleep. That lady, I said, Miss, y'all need to bill in extra time because I need a little more rest. You done messed me up. I'm laid out. I felt like a noodle. But I say that to say, build in those little things. If you want new sneakers, I usually like make my goal for the month. I'll
Mm-hmm.
build that in. Or if you even want a pair of shoes, or you want to go out with some friends and you want to look cute, whatever it
Yes.
is that gets you motivated,
Mm-hmm.
earn it. Earn it.
Yes.
Like say, okay, 2 times a week, I'm gonna do this. So if I do this 2 times a week for 4 weeks, I did it 8 times a month. I'm gonna get this little thing I wanted for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and treat yourself so that you know that you're worth it. And I think
Yes.
that's where we go. We always put everybody ahead of us.
Yep.
Everybody. When I think about the years of just putting people like not worry, oh, I can't let that person down. I can't, but then I did something to let myself down.
Yes. Yes.
So
Oh.
that was okay for me to let myself down.
Mm.
So I tell people, I said, listen, it's not selfish. It's not um, it's not being self-centered. Self-care is necessary,
Yes.
whatever you consider that to be. And you need to carve out that time and know. And even if you never felt you were worth it, you got to know you're worth it, and you got to
Yes.
make something happen to represent your self-worth. Because I think
Yes.
I'm meeting a lot of women who are feeling a type of way, and it might have been because all of the stuff we carry, and we carry other people's problems too.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't know how to say no, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to, we want to be super women. I see women that say, well, if I can't get nobody to do it, I'm going to do it. No, no, no. You have to delegate. You got
Yeah.
to expect, and you got to let them do it. If it doesn't come
Mm-hmm.
out the way you want, you say, oh, you did this, give them a little feedback, and then give it over. But don't
Mm-hmm.
come back, well, I'll do it, because that's where we get caught up and we become resentful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that mental part is. But if anybody's starting this journey, I would say find your niche and make it your dedicated time.
Mm-hmm.
That mommy, auntie, grandma, any of us, we cannot be bothered during this time because this
Mm.
is my time.
Yes.
And make it happen and make everyone respect that, because then they'll learn to adapt
Mm-hmm.
that time that carved out is your time, and they got to
Yes.
find something else to do, or they got to solve the problem themselves instead of us solving the problem, and that's where we got to make space for other people to step up. That's
Because
it.
if we're not, even doing that, because we need to do that to show
Right.
self-care, self-love, to be an example of it, so they can even do it for
Yes.
themselves. They're like, oh, I'm trying to call Cynthia and she not out. Oh, this her
Mhm.
workout time. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. She working out for 2 hours. I need to go work out.
Uh-huh.
I need to go walk. I need to go do yoga. And like,
Uh-huh. Right.
Dr. Frederick said, find your thing. And that's some another thing that I encourage people to do. We might see Jane Doe, she's a runner, but that's Jane Doe being a
Mm-hmm.
runner. It's okay if you a walker,
Right.
because I still, there's issue with my knees. I
Yes.
want to run, but my
Yes.
body said, no, you can't do that. So I walk
Yep.
fast, and when the pool,
Right.
I've been to the pool a few times, but not enough. But I will make
Mhm.
sure that I do my yoga. Even with the yoga, I have to watch that now too. And so I'm doing stuff,
Right.
whether it be in a chair,
Right.
I'm doing modifications. And that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you're
Right.
watching these
That's right,
videos,
Mom.
I don't, if Jane Doe was able to do a headstand, that don't mean you gotta do a headstand.
Right.
You
That's
find,
right.
what works for you. And not only about exercise, but it is, just I think that's a practice too of doing what's best for us, because
Yes,
whether it's something going on in your work environment, and there's 10 co-workers that do something a certain way, you have to find your way. And I believe with these
exactly.
practices, whether it be walking, yoga, the different things we do, it is practicing how to make us better in all different areas. So that's just something I
Mhm.
encourage you all to do, to find you in everything that you do. So Dr. Harris
Mhm.
Frederick, is there anything special that you would like to leave us with besides all the wonderful information and you sharing?
Well, I um I always use this quote, and I have it in my office.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought, actually, let me just see. So I have, it came with a coaster, and it
Okay.
said, God is within her, she will never fail. She will
Mm,
not fail. And that's the
mm,
46th Psalm.
mm.
And the reason why I gravitate to that quote is because we have everything we need inside of us. We just
Yes.
have to
Yes.
manifest it for us.
Yes.
Um, and we don't need to pull from outside. We
Mm-mm.
have it. We
Mm-hmm.
just got to tap in, and sometimes you got to
Yes.
sit and you got to be quiet. You got to be still. If your still time is late at night, or if it's early in the morning, there's
Mm-hmm.
something in you that will share that information. But you just got to listen for that voice and just quiet your
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
Um, and that intuition is so powerful. That was not by accident. That's what we are supposed to use and develop.
Yes.
And so I believe that. I believe any blessing, and there's been many in my wellness journey, because I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to even just say my workout, and it's
Mm-hmm.
my wellness journey.
Yes.
In my wellness journey, there was so many blessings that God gave me to say you're on the right path.
Mm,
Okay.
mm,
And that made me feel good. Even with the swimming, I never set out to win a, triathlon. I don't
mm-hmm.
run. My instructor is a cyclist,
Mm-hmm.
and she and I paired up. I did the swimming, she did the riding, because that's what she does. That's her
Mm-hmm.
thing, and my thing. And we won. And if the event that happened before that would freak you out, to let you know it was a blessing from God all the way.
Ooh.
Then, even with the Peloton, the yoga, I was just doing my yoga class, and I'm posting, I'm doing, because I finally found an instructor that I could vibe with, that motivated me. And I could even take other instructors now, because now I got a whole sense of it. And not only that, I bought other books to
Mm-hmm.
like look at, what is that pose called? Or why is that pose? Or is it good for the internal organ? And so I dug a little deeper.
Okay.
And then I got blessed with Peloton calling me to ask me to
Wow.
do a commercial thing. And not only that, like, they threw me a birthday party that weekend too at
Oh,
the thing. And I'm freaked out. I still, like, I don't understand what happened, but those are the blessings. And I feel like if you
yes.
find your thing and you are unwavering and it's your thing, that's for
Mm-hmm.
you, your blessings will come. So even if you didn't have someone who could babysit your children, you might be working out somewhere, and somebody, they got a daycare in the gym, or
Mm-hmm.
they there's somebody who's reliable and trustworthy. Or
Right.
even your children. I see so many things where now the parents are doing yoga, they got the daughter doing the yoga with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
tag you in that. Daughter is doing, she's sitting in front of TV.
Oh.
um and it's transpired to the next generation of wellness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So um I guess that's my final word. Just reaching within yourself and finding out
Yes.
who it is and what you want to be, and stop. Don't look at what other people do. You,
Yes.
no matter how long it takes, because your wellness is a journey that never ends.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
not like, oh, I'm gonna lose 60 pounds in 6 months. No, you may, but that's not the goal. The goal is,
Mm-mm.
I want to be healthy. I want to be well all the way
Mm-hmm.
around. And
Yes.
with that, that means your doctor visits.
Mm-hmm.
going to get those gynecological exams, going to get the mammograms, knowing your A1C numbers,
Yeah.
like just knowing who you are physically.
So you'll know what to fix. Because sometimes I believe, you know, I tell people there's definitely one blood test that everybody should get. And, you know, not only the A1C, but finding out, like you found out your vitamin D, but also finding out how your thyroid is functioning. They can tell it in your blood, your iron, because that lets you know what you could do. And it could be as simple as taking a supplement or going outside to get more exposure from the sun. It's best to find these things out early before, you know, you find out, and I don't wish that on nobody, that you find it out too late. And again, this is why this is what I am really promoting, that you know, for everyone, especially people of color, I want us to do better. And a lot of times we don't do better because we don't know. So, but thank you, Dr. Harris.
And you know, you got to say, drink your water.
Yes, that too.
Drink your water.
Thank you so much for sharing with time and space. You're welcome. And so everyone, make sure that you leave in the comments some of the things that you're doing. Share with us, share with other people, some of your holistic health or tips or things you are doing on your wellness journey. Till next time, this is Nikki S. Salas, your spiritual guide, your holistic health teacher and nurse. I wish you all well. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.